Hello, my name is Michael Ross. In this PowerPoint, I will be discussing obesity, specifically the disparity lesbian women face with obesity. Then I will talk about some of the challenges and reasons to care about obesity. And finally, I will discuss how healthcare providers can address it in a culturally competent way. First, we should focus on why we are talking about obesity, even though personal health is a hard topic for many people. Especially in the case of weight, it can often be a topic of judgment or bullying. Nonetheless, it's an important health problem facing much of the world, and competent care should be the melding of sensitivity along with the factual issues facing society. Focusing on both of these perspectives at the same time can provide people with the support they need along with bettering their health. So, just starting out, I think it's important to look at the disparity that can be seen regarding lesbian women and obesity. This first statistic is from a $3 million study by the National Institute of Health. They found about 75% of lesbian women are overweight or obese. The rate is 25% higher than heterosexual females and almost double the obesity risk of gay men. Another study of about 6,000 women found that lesbian women had more than twice the odds of being overweight or obese than heterosexual women. Lesbian women were also found to have a higher prevalence of being overweight or obese than all other female sexual orientation groups. Finally, in a study that looked at over 31,000 college women, lesbian women had about twice the odds of being overweight or obese than heterosexual women. Therefore, given the results of these studies, it is clear that obesity in lesbian women is a major public health concern. Looking at the impact of obesity on health outcomes real quick, lesbian women are found to be at a greater risk for morbidity and mortality linked to overweight and obesity. Obesity is recognized as the primary cause of preventable deaths, and there are several negative implications on general health for obesity. For example, individuals who are obese have a substantially increased risk of morbidity and mortality from high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, coronary artery disease, and stroke. Individuals who are obese also have a higher risk for type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis, sleep apnea, breathing problems, and cancer. Beginning on some of the issues, today's environment is both harmed by and causes obesity. Convenient unhealthy foods, less overall or necessary physical activity along with social media are leading to higher rates of obesity, and excess fuel usage is also attributable to obesity, which harms the environment. Economically, there are increased medical costs and disability associated with obesity, and not only do people in poverty have a higher chance of being obese, obesity can make it harder to be insured with life or health insurance. Finally, lesbian women are less likely to have health insurance. Moving on to cultural and social issues, cultural acceptance of higher weights in the LGBT community challenges the expectations of typical weight loss programs. Lesbian women are less likely to consider themselves overweight, and they are more positive towards their bodies. Finishing with a quote that highlights one of the main problems, lesbian and bisexual women are more interested in improving their physical health than in losing weight, wanting to feel healthy and be more active rather than losing weight for its own sake. The next two slides are going to detail 3 specific recommendations to address obesity in lesbian women. First, healthcare professionals ought to be educated on the increased risk for obesity among lesbian women, and the culture surrounding body positivity in lesbian women. Understanding health risks allows health providers to plan for the future and talk to patients about the right choices for their health before complications show up. Understanding culture allows providers to tailor plans to suit the needs of the population. Second, healthcare professionals ought to point lesbian women towards programs like Healthy Weight in Lesbian and Bisexual Women, HWLP, which focuses on exercise and dieting targeted towards lesbian women with LGBT-friendly gyms, lesbian or bisexual group leaders, and flexible goals. Finishing out the recommendations, the last recommendation is healthcare professionals ought to advocate for lesbian women to take their health into their own hands. They can start by giving out or promoting the use of tools such as smart pedometers, advocating for classes on mindfulness for stress reduction, or promoting intuitive eating such as fruits and vegetables. Finally, advocating for policies that reduce financial barriers to physical activity.